I need you to cast your mind back to November 14th, 2025, one day before the full release. The forums are vibrating. Discord is on fire. Every Tarkov fan is posting the same copy pasta they've posted for 8 straight years. This wipe is different. 1.0 is coming. You won't even recognize the game. People are dropping $250 on Unheard edition upgrades, like it's crypto in 2021. Pestily is doing 24-hour streams titled The Final Wipe. Twitch chat is nothing but game will be completely different spam. You could bottle the hopium and sell it as jet fuel. Then, November 15th arrives. The servers don't just go down, they die. Like full-on cardiac arrest, flatline, cold blue death, 24 hours before anyone was even supposed to log in. Battlestate tweets some fake crap about unexpected load during the final patch. Translation: they pushed a 40 gig update and realized their server provider still thinks it's 2018. Fast forward to launch hour. The countdown hits 0. And nothing happens. 3 hours later, the global player count is still under 1,000. People are literally refreshing the launcher like it's a loot box, praying the gray screen turns into a menu. Pestily is live on stream with 40,000 viewers and he cannot queue into a raid. He ends up begging someone in chat to party invited because solo queue is broken.
Can you queue me to a raid? Don't kick me from the group. Invite me. Take me to a raid. Take me somewhere. Whoever you are. I can't even leave group even if I wanted to now. Whoever you are. Listen to chat. What do you want me to do, Two-Faced Heavy? What do you want me to do? Oh, I'm going to get pin kicked. Wait, did he queue it and it didn't? It is bugged. I did 3 ground 0 raids. But you can't reset your game profile. Can't listen, need intel table. What's that? So was there a piece on the table that I didn't pick up? I think you missed one tape in the starting area. Play ground 0 for a bit. If your messages are empty. Hey man, how you doing?
Bro. Good. Holy, oh my god, it's actually you. That's crazy.
Thank you for bringing me into ground 0. This is my first raid.
Oh, okay. Do you still have any like tutorial stuff to do at the moment?
It says I have to escape, but it's broken.
Okay, I saw you said that you were picking up tapes and it like didn't work, like, or like you died or something.
No, I didn't die. I left. I did the tutorial, and then now it's got me doing nothing.
It's so weird. Okay.
Yeah, let's just loot up and just fucking hopefully, I don't know. We'll just do some raids together. You're my new friend. What's your name? Fijian.
There should have been Omen number 1. 4 hours in. The lucky few who squeak through discover the performance is somehow worse than the wipe before. Your brand new RTX 5070 and 9900X are getting 45 FPS on streets, low settings, DLSS on performance looking like a 2012 YouTube upload. The game now eats 11 gigabytes of RAM in 45 minutes, and then starts stuttering like it's having an existential crisis. Battleship even shipped a literal toggle for Streets of Tarkov, lower texture resolution mode. Flip it on and half the textures vanish. The FPS climbs though, but it looks awful. 5 hours in, Steam playtime is ticking for hundreds of thousands of people who have never seen the main menu. The BSG launcher is happily burning through everyone's 2-hour refund window while serving error 213, Cloudflare blocks, failed to get game package, and the occasional "you are banned" for no reason at all. People are posting screenshots of 11, 12, 15 hours on record with 0 raids. That's not a launch, that's a hostage video. 6 hours in, the website collapses. PvE players who paid extra for the privilege of not getting vacuum cheated discover they can't even reset their profiles because the site is queued harder than the game itself. Twitch drops are half broken. Free ones work, gifted subs don't. Pestily spent 10 straight hours pinging support while 10,000 gifted subs explode on his channel by accident.
I got a message from BSG saying the drops were live. It came up live on my channel and we all thought they were all live. And next minute I got 10,000 subs in 6 minutes. And then we realized it was just the free drops, not the gifted drops. And then BSG is like, we're looking into it. So, and they've been saying they've been looking into it. I've been hounding them because I feel bad. I've been hounding them about it for a good part of 10 hours. So, yeah.
He ends the night looking like a man who just watched his childhood dog get put down.
All right. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to raid someone. I'll send you guys off to someone. And I'm going to go sleep. Game's running like shit. And the servers are going to go to crap. There's no sub drops for the next few days at least, probably even longer. It sounds like it's going to be at the end of the event, which is kind of frustrating because once again we don't know anything.
7 hours in, the first death screens start rolling in for the lucky few actually playing. And guess what? Same desync. You die behind the wall you've been standing behind for 5 full seconds. Scavs still moonwalk through doors like they're auditioning for a Michael Jackson tribute act. Audio still can tell if someone is sprinting next to you or whispering sweet nothings from factory's third floor. The over 1,000 fixes patch somehow missed every single bug that has tormented Tarkov players since the first alpha wipe. 8 hours in, the new tutorial finally loads for some people, and it's fine? A cool little cinematic, some basic here's how you heal stuff, and then it dumps you into ground zero with the promise that everything you find you keep. Graphics cards, LEDX, bitcoins, enough starting loot to make a 2018 chat weep tears of blood. Except every single veteran who suffered through that tutorial when it was a broken mess years ago gets absolutely nothing. No retroactive rewards, no thanks for believing in us, just a quiet corporate middle finger wearing a balaclava. 9 hours in. The Unheard edition owners, the one who paid $250 American for the final version of the game, discovered there's no free Steam key. Do you want achievements? Do you want that sweet Steam overlay? Want to appear online to your friends? Cough up another $50 for the base game and link your account pleb? 10 hours in. The first reviews start flooding Steam like a digital dam breaking. And they are nuclear, unfiltered fury from players who'd waited 9 years for this moment, only to get slapped with a launcher that laughs at their pain. Take Makar, his review. He doesn't pull punches, calling the whole thing a cosmetic punishment sent by indifferent gods to remind humanity of its insignificance. Booting it up is like willingly inserting your face into a malfunctioning wood chipper.
This is fine. I'm okay with the events that are unfolding currently.
Servers on fire. Queue times longer than the lifespan of stars. If Dante had known about Escape from Tarkov, there would have been a 10th circle of hell. It is not just a review, it's a eulogy for what could have been. Clocking in at over 800 words of poetic despair that went viral overnight. Quoted from Reddit to Eurogamer. Then there's Dawn, the 7-year vet, boiling 7 years of grind down to a single scorching gut punch. This game is still a piece of shit. I have been playing for more than 7 years now. How the fuck you clowns can release this game with the same issues from wipe to wipe? Just the exhaustion of someone who's seen every wipe promise and every bug respawn, now immortalized at the top of the most helpful list. A 16-point autopsy on everything from pay-to-win editions to cheaters rebuying accounts, ending with that cold mic drop that sums up the betrayal for every loyalist staring at their refund button. These aren't outliers. They are the vanguard of a review bomb that's buried Steam at 44% positive, with negatives outnumbering positives 3-1 in the recent tab. If that doesn't tell you the mask slipped, nothing will. 11 hours in, Arena Breakout Infinite, the free Chinese clone everyone dunked on for being a ripoff, is sitting at around 33,000 concurrent players and climbing. Arc Raiders, which didn't even launch this weekend but dropped back on October 30th, is still pulling a massive 376,000 concurrents on November 15. And Tarkov, you ask? The game everyone was waiting for? It is limping along at barely 17,000 players on Steam. The genre Tarkov invented isn't just getting competition, it is getting outclassed in real time by games that actually work on launch day. 12 hours in, Pestily finally goes live with the video everyone's been waiting for. 12 hours of pain condensed into 10 minutes. And even he, the eternal optimist who once told us the desync is just part of the charm, looks into the camera and says the sentence that broke a million hearts.
This was BSG opportunity to really shine, and I do think they dropped the ball.
That wasn't rage. That man was grieving. Because here's the worst part. The core loop still slaps. The gameplay is still unmatched. The tension of hearing a single footstep and knowing it could be your last heartbeat is still pure heroin. If you ever get into a raid, 30 interrupted minutes of Tarkov is still one of the best experiences gaming has ever produced. But getting those 30 minutes now requires an act of divine intervention, a blood sacrifice to the Unity gods, and a refund-proof masochism streak that would make the Marquis de Sade blush. This wasn't server load, this wasn't growing pains. This was 9 years of kicking the can down the road. 9 years of just one more wipe. 9 years of milking the most devoted community on planet Earth. And then, on the single day the entire world was finally watching, wheeling out a fucking rotting corpse, propping it up on the Steam front page and letting it collapse in the most public, humiliating way possible. Tarkov didn't escape from anything. It built its own cage out of legacy code, greed, and broken promises. They locked the door from the inside and swallowed the key. The Tarkov you fell in love with. The one that punished you so brutally you bragged about it to your friends. The one that made you shake when you finally extracted with a red keycard. That Tarkov died somewhere around 2021. What's left is a zombie wearing its skin, shambling around collecting $250 edition sales, while the genre it created sprints into the sunset without it. So no, I'm not coming back. I'm not waiting for the hotfixes. I'm not giving them one more wipe. I'm done. And if you are still on the fence, let me make it easy for you. Close the launcher, hit that refund button while you still can. Go play Arc Raiders. Go play Arena Breakout Infinite. Anything is better than voluntarily walking back into this prison. Because the sad truth is, the devs don't need to fix the servers. They already got the money. And as long as enough of us keep crawling back, every wipe whispering, this time it will be different, nothing will ever change. The escape was never from Tarkov. The escape was always from the sunk cost fallacy that kept us chained to it. So for the first time in almost a decade, I'm out. Thanks for watching. If this one heard in all the right places, hit that subscribe button. We will find the next extraction shooter together. One that actually respects our time. See you in the next raid, somewhere else.